Intermittent fasting, the food eating pattern, is gaining a lot of popularity these days. Where somewhere or the other, when we talk about weight loss, the first option, the first quick option that comes to our mind is intermittent fasting. But you see, there are still a lot of concepts and things that come under this food eating pattern which are not clear by the audience. And getting a clarity of what you eat, how you eat, and how you're eating it, like the time, the duration, is very, very important, right? So, when we're talking about intermittent fasting and the concepts which are not clear, the first thing that comes to our mind is which one is the best for you, that is the types of intermittent fasting. Well, a lot of you might be thinking that we know the basic idea of what exactly is this food eating pattern, but the types, like how many types are there and how are they different from each other? Well, hold a second, because to get a clear idea of the same, we have with us Dr. H.P. Bharti, who is the Deputy Chief Medical Officer at Jindal Nature Care Institute, and she will be joining us at ISW TV Official and clearing a lot of your doubts. And trust me on that by the end of this particular live session, a lot of your doubts will be cleared, and this will be a very interesting session. So, like I said, to get a clear idea of the same, I am going to be inviting Dr. Bharti to be a part of the session, and is intermittent fasting and if it's going to work for them. But do you know that there are the types of the same? And like I said, that Dr. Bharti will be joining this session, and I am sure that after this, you will get a clear idea of the same. So, Dr. Bharti, if you could please join this particular session. I have sent her an invite and she will be joining super soon. So, So, intermittent fasting, we think that it's a very quick method to lose weight, but you have to understand that, a lot of your diet actually matters on your body type, the kind of food that you're eating, and it depends on individual to individual. Something might work for you, something cannot. So, you have to, really put a lot of think about it, do your research, and then only you can make that decision, right? So this is like the basic thing that I am telling you guys. Okay, so everyone, firstly, Dr. Bharti, thank you for being a part of the session.
Thank you for your invitation also.
Am I audible to you, doctor?
I didn't catch you.
Am I audible?
Bit louder?
Yeah, am I audible, doctor, now?
Yeah, now it's fine.
Okay. So, firstly, thank you so much, Dr. Bharti, for being a part of this session. Intermittent fasting looks like a very common term, but there are a lot of things that needs to be cleared. I am sure that you will agree with me on that.
Very much I agree with you, but this is not like a recent trend. It's a very old, ancient method of detoxification. In our JNI or like naturopathy itself, from ancient time we are adapted, and it's a part of detoxification in naturopathy diet itself. And we are just not giving importance only for the intermittent fasting. We are giving full fasting also for every patient, and it will be done for continuously minimum 3 days, maximum depends upon the patient condition. So in intermittent fasting they do eat, but for our patients we just make them to be on the liquids for minimum 3 to 5 days. And this is not a new topic, it is very old ancient practice for the health itself. In Ayurveda they say lankanam param aushadam. So abstinence from the food itself is a supreme cure. So Ayurveda is not from recent literature or anything. It is very ancient practice, and there itself they have told. And this is not just a myth that can lose a weight or anything. It is a medical science, proven science, where they say when we do the fasting, health benefits are there. And Nobel Prize also has come for this fasting for the word autophagy. So more than the intermittent fasting, we recommend like if you can do the full day fasting in a week or so, that will be very good.
Okay. So, like you mentioned, that this is actually a very old concept, and it is now that people are talking about it. So, we know what intermittent fasting is, but doctor, can you just elaborate on the types of the same as well?
So in fasting itself, we say water fasting or like dry fasting is there. These two conditions we will never recommend it because it is considered as religious fasting. Whereas in naturopathy, we say you can go for the simple, low calorie juices 5 to 7 times a day and continue this for 3 to 5 days. So there the benefit will come. So like on the being on the liquid is one type of fasting. So then the person who finds it difficult to be on the liquid diet, then we recommend, okay, you can go ahead with the fruit diet, where they're going to just be on the like for the fruits, breakfast, lunch and dinner, limited quantity of fruits. So apart from this one, then comes the intermittent fasting, where a person cannot just quit their food at all, like, or they cannot be on the fruit diet. They say like, okay, 1 meal a day they are going to take it, or like they are going to limit themselves like eating timings. So they say 12 hours of fasting, 16 hours of fasting, they just do it. So mainly these are the varieties like there.
Okay. So, doctor, like you said, that there are specific timings when we talk about intermittent fasting. So, some people fast for 15 hours and then they have that eating pattern in the rest of the 8 hours. But then, which one is better for the individual? Like, should we fast at night or the daytime? Like, which is the better suiting eating pattern according to you, the day or the night?
You just like if we do the intermittent fasting, try to finish the last meal as early as possible by evening, like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or anything. And dinner also, like in the regular basis, also for the regular patients who are eating, also we say by maximum 7 o'clock or before sunset, if you eat the food, that is better. Okay. And throughout the night, there will be a fasting itself because you are asleep, so you don't have any other work. So morning, like it depends how like you can just break it like. Okay. So there, like if you can just do it like till 11 o'clock or anything, that will be better like. So after that your appetite increases, so better to break it like. So my advice is like if they eat like the early dinner and continue for the whole night, that will be better.
That will be better. Like, fasting at night is better. So, like you
Yes.
said, if you're breaking the fast by 11:30, so how should we break the fast? Like, what is the first meal that we should go for?
You have to remember why you are doing the intermittent fasting now. See, like my goal for a patient is to detoxify their body. So with the detoxification, they control their diseases. So it may be like obesity itself, it may be any other disease also. So when we do like this fasting, we are supposed to make the body alkaline also. It is not just like when you want easy to do the fasting, when you come to the breaking, you will become very restless. So you just will be eager to eat whatsoever you get it. So that eagerness should be controlled. Secondly, like first break the fast with the liquids. It can be the lemon water, it can be like the coconut water, simple natural juices with much low calories. Person can just take like hot jaggery water, or like if they want still they can just go for the vegetable juice. So or diluted fruit juice also is fine. So break the fast with the simple things, then introduce the normal meal, we'll say. So the normal meal can be like eaten by 12 o'clock or anything if they are breaking the fast by 11 o'clock. So first break it with the alkaline juices, then start your meal.
Okay. And are there any risks associated with this particular food eating pattern or fasting, like you said?
So like risk you're asking means it all depends
Yes.
upon how you break the fast, how you end the fast. So first is like you're already previous day you're eaten the food. So there like if you think okay whole day I'm going to be the fasting means or like I'm not going to eat whole night. So that fear sets in means these patients tend to eat more food. So if they eat more food or like high calorie food or anything, they cannot do the fasting at all. Gastric say acid secretion starts increasing, they'll end up with the acidity. Or like Next day morning, so they cannot continue their fasting up to 11 o'clock. So previous meal should be lighter first. Secondly, like next day morning when they are breaking, so they should break it like with the normal juices or anything, so that they will not get into the acidity. Most of the problem is like first is the acidity, second is the headache, third is the like constipation because they are not eating properly the food, so they may end up with bowel like problem with the bowel movements. So they should take care of their rough edge when they are on eating time. Like they should eat the high fiber diet so that next day bowel movement should be easy.
Okay. And what are the drinks, the beverages we should have while we are fasting?
So in like as I told you, like the thing, lemon juice is very good, coconut water is good, white pumpkin juice is there, barley water is there. So still, if they want like tulsi ginger tea is there, hot jaggery water with ginger. So these simple juices they can just have it. Still, if they want, like they can introduce the fruit juice or a vegetable juice. In vegetable juice, we say like green smoothies can be taken, or like one or two like vegetable. It can be the apple, carrot, beetroot smoothie type, or like they can eat the fruit itself. Like if they're feeling too acidic or anything.
Okay. And can we have milk, anything related to milk, or, can we have milk curd while we are
So
like on the intermittent
fasting, you can take the like instead of curd, I do advise the buttermilk.
Okay. Buttermilk.
Because it says like buttermilk, that's much more filling and it controls their acidity. So buttermilk also is fine for them if they can just take it. More than the curd, buttermilk. Milk, it is like that much if cleansing, it doesn't come. So if they are doing the whole day fasting, then one time they can drink the milk. If they are doing the intermittent fasting, so they can just have this milk in between their eating time. So then like having in the morning or anything.
Okay. So
Because
one
milk is
question.
not considered as an cleansing process so easily.
Okay. So rather than having milk, you can go for buttermilk, a better option.
Yes, better option.
Okay. And one question is coming from the audience, and he says, can sugar patients do intermittent fasting? Doctor, what do you have to say about that?
Now, like the trend is for the diabetic only. To prevent the diabetic happening itself, you have to go for the intermittent fasting. We say that is they have to finish their dinner early, and next day like meal should be like taken. If the patient is on medication, they should revise their medications according to their food intake.
Okay.
So once they experience under the guidance like naturopathy center or anything, then it will be better for them.
Okay.
If they are not on medications, it's only a pre-diabetic, they can just start doing the fasting on their own.
Okay. And are there any, with that like question, I want to ask, are there any risks associated with, like, are there any patients or people who should not go for intermittent fasting? Anyone in particular, with certain health condition who should not fast, according to you?
So especially the patients with the medications.
Okay.
There are many people, if they are taking late night medications, life-saving medications, they are not supposed to do this like intermittent fasting. And see, like here in the diabetic case also, so under the guidance, once they experience what is intermittent fasting, then they will advise for the diabetic patients. Pregnant ladies also will not recommend this fasting. And like feasible people or weak patients, mentally not strong, for them also we won't recommend it.
Okay.
Elderly people, so for them also no. And life-saving medications, there also will say no. Anxiety and depression cases, there they should be careful.
Okay. Okay. And doctor, if a person is healthy, then can he or she go for intermittent fasting like 7 days in a week? Like every day, can that person go for that fasting?
They can do intermittent fasting, not a problem at all. They can just do it like continuously for a week or more than a week, also not a problem. They have to plan their meals properly. The fasting where we say like whole day fasting, 24 hours fasting, that is we recommend only once a week.
Okay.
So where they're going to start their fasting in like last meal will be the evening, and next day like morning itself they should start the fasting. They should break their fast next day morning. So that is
and
like 24 hours fasting. In intermittent, just continuously they can just do it for like 5 to 7 days. In naturopathy, though, we follow the intermittent diet only because our meal ends at 6 o'clock. Next meal will be at 11 o'clock for the next day lunch.
Okay. So yeah, and if we want to lose weight at a faster pace, then which kind of diet will you recommend? Intermittent fasting or having one day in a meal?
So it all depends upon what you're going to choose to eat when you're doing the intermittent fasting. So when you know like you're just going to do it for the obesity purpose, then for your lunch, dinner, everything should be under control in the calorie basis. So there, like if you like have one meal of normal with the roti or rice or like the grains, the other meal they can just make it as fruit and vegetable diet. So this is like intermittent, and this can be continued for longer period also. So if they feel like there is a plateau in their weight, so means weight loss is not happening or anything, then they can go for weekly 1 day, the full day fasting. So that they gives a like jerk means a difference, a change for the body, so that it starts giving the result once again. So with the intermittent fasting, weekly 1 day, if they want, they can go for 24 hours of fasting. That helps them for the weight loss. Your calorie intake always counts.
Of course. And doctor, how long does it take to see the results of weight loss? Like if our main aim is weight loss, so how long does it take to see the results when we're going for intermittent fasting?
So like we cannot just assure anything over there. We don't know how the body responds. So if a person is really like having too much of high calorie diet before starting the intermittent fast, those people they'll get the result from the next day itself, when the restriction of food itself is there.
Okay.
The person who is already conditioned their food habits, everything, and when they start doing it, it is bit a slow process. But still the effect will be there. But we cannot compare from person to person how much a result is going to be there, and when the result is going to be there, we cannot predict anything. But more than the like weight loss or anything, it's for the detoxification. If you consider, that will be best idea.
Of course. So rather than keeping weight loss as your primary goal, go for detoxification is like you rightly mentioned, doctor.
Yes.
And of course, the results depend on person to person. Okay. Any last parting words you want to say to our audience?
So I always say like, okay, just the intermittent fasting is a good start for any person. Need not be for the weight loss, need not be for any other reason, but for the detoxification, for the healthy lifestyle, to prevent the diseases itself, intermittent fasting is very, very good and acceptable. So I just recommend people to just have their dinner early before sunset and go to bed early. That makes a like very good change for the system, and they will be healthy without any advice from any other like allopathics or anything. Automatically the disease gets prevented.
And like you mentioned, a very nice and informative thing that once we break that fast, we should not go for having something heavy. So you can go for either lemon water, buttermilk, but don't go for something heavy. So that's something that I learned.
First meal should not be the heavy meal. That's it. Like means we have to give a soothing diet for our system. We are not eaten for the long period. So first give the soothing diet. It may like as I told you the juices first. If they want, then they can shift to the smoothie. Then they can sit for the lunch. But timing is important over here. Lunch timing should be like around 1 o'clock. That one if you maintain, that is better. You should not make that lunch hour as 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock because you are doing the intermittent fasting. So by 5 o'clock, if you eat once again the meal, it should be lighter one.
Okay. I think we have gained a lot from this particular session, and I'm sure a lot of your doubts for the audience has been cleared. Thank you so much, Dr. Bharti, for being a part of this session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, doctor.